But, on the other hand, let's look at a different verse. Luke 13. You know this story. Where is it? Luke 13:1. Now on the same occasion there were some present who reported to Jesus about the Galileans, whose blood Pilate had mingled with their sacrifices. And Jesus said to them, do you suppose that these Galileans were greater sinners than all the other Galileans because they suffered this fate? Right? His answer is no. But unless you repent, you too will perish. You will all likewise perish, is what King James of the American Standard, which sounds like it means that you're going to suffer exactly the same fate, which gets really confusing if that's what he's saying. So the NIV changed it to you too will perish. Then the next story. Or do you suppose that those 18 on whom the Tower of Siloam fell and killed them were worse culprits than all the men who live in Jerusalem? I tell you no, but unless you repent, you too will all perish. Jesus, he's talking about cause effect, right? But what's he warning us against? Or what's he warning his listeners against? Thinking you're better than somebody else, or thinking somebody else is worse than you. So he's shutting the door to judgmental reading of circumstances. If something bad happens to somebody, oh, they must have sinned. Which reminds us of the story over in John chapter 9, right, where Jesus finds a man who's born blind, and what do his disciples say? Who sinned? This man or his parents, right? And Jesus says, no, neither one.
So it's not good works or bad works, particularly?
I think he shuts the door to us to a simplistic reading of cause effect. It's real easy. It's easy for us to get simple, and it's easy for us to get judgmental. So I lift that off all of us. It's real easy with all this talk of cause effect. Well, what if one of us goes out and has a bad car accident this week? Then this Sunday we talk about cause effect. There you go. And Jesus says, no. You can't even read it. You can't read backwards because the cause. Let's just talk about the Tower of Siloam. And I have no idea what that means, what that happened. I have no idea what the Tower of Siloam was, but apparently there's a big stone thing and fell on people, right? And Jesus says, do you think they were bad people? That's why it happened? And he says, no. So that's closed. Well, what else? What other laws of cause effect could have been happening there that caused this event?
It was built
Poor
there.
engineering.
Exactly. That's exactly poor engineering. I mean, that's bad. Right?
Happens every day.
Happens every day. So, I mean, Jesus really is saying, so don't watch out for this simplistic reading of cause effect.
Modern example is hate.
Exactly.
Don't say hate,
Katrina. We had Christians publicly saying God is, smashing New Orleans because of its sin. Duh.
How about Arkansas, the flood to the
Oh,
campgrounds?
isn't it terrible? Lord help all those people. Bless them. Bless
How about
them.
the
Come
Twin
on,
Towers?
survivors. Pardon?
How about the Twin Towers?
Exactly. The same thing over and over. So I think Jesus is making it quite clear. That door is closed to us. We may not backread, especially with judgmental. Oh, they're sinners. They're bad sinners. That's why. I do. But where it gets practical is you don't do that to yourself either. If something bad happens to you, you get sick, you have a car accident, your child dies, who knows what? Well, it must be something I did. No. Well, what is going on here then? I mean, okay, so we're saying cause effect, but now I just said, well, no, cause effect.
But you just lifted a whole big weight off of everybody.
I hope so. What I think that what Jesus is teaching is a simplistic reading of cause effect. We have no idea what all the laws of the cosmos, and I confess I'm being overly simplistic even in my story of Jericho. That was just let's use our imagination and imagine what might be going on there. That helps explain that. But by no means do we say, oh, we know what caused this or that. We don't know. We just absolutely don't. And bad engineering, boy, that'll mess you up. That messes you up your theology, but I think that's probably exactly right. What caused that?
What do you say about Job? Because that was God's idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that, he said, hey, be considered my servant Job. To say, and there was no cause and effect there.
My husband always taught me when I wanted to fix my car, which I hated doing, but had to do because I traveled a lot, to look for the easiest thing first, especially if I had to stop at a station. So he taught me enough of the easy things, and if they suggested something out of that range, I didn't quite believe them. But maybe we need to look for the easiest cause of things here. Most logical, like engineering, most natural, the way this world is built, because we have gravity and a few other things here that affect stuff.
So, yeah, so does that apply to Job too, or that's
I'm
part of the Job
thinking,
story?
other things come in there, but I'm thinking, things, this is a question more than a comment, because this is the area where I have a lot of questions.
Okay, gotcha. Well, let's tackle, what about Job? You've been sitting there saying, the whole time, right, saying, what about Job?
No, it's just, a question I have.
Yeah.
Because you're talking, to me that seems like the opposite of cause and effect. But it kind of reminds me of, I think years ago, especially like back in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of teaching out there in the Christian community that if you just do everything right, if you just do it all right, all will be well with you. And it's just not necessarily that.
It ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to.
What I just heard is when God made a rose, he said, wow, this is the most beautiful smelling, prettiest flower in the whole world, so I'm not going to make anything but roses. What he did, he made a whole bunch of different things.
Yes,
And so
I'm sure you're
there's
going
a whole
somewhere.
bunch of different reasons,
okay.
like you say a lot, we don't always know all the
Yeah.
reasons for everything. And Job seems kind of special in what we're talking about right now. It's kind of unusual.
You know, keep in perspective, in Scripture, all the Scripture was written for our benefit. It's an example to us. I think God had that view in mind.
Yeah.
Nobody knows when He's going to come back, when He's going to bring all this stuff to culminate, at some point. But He still wrote those things. Even Paul said those are for your examples for us, for the future generations that we're going to live on.
Yeah.
So I think God had that view of Job. I'm sure the people that were contemporaries were the same way. They probably learned a lot through that kind of seeing how God dealt with that circumstance.
In fact, the whole book of Job is in part a lesson on cause effect. The reverse, the simplistic reading, because Job's friends, his three friends, all basically said what?
What you did.
You must have done something bad. Job, he's going. So there you go.
His friends were the kings of cause and effect.
That's right. And God makes it clear
I think it just
they
goes
were
back to
wrong.
what you said earlier, many of the times, is that God is so much bigger than cause and effect. He works and operates way outside the boundaries of his written word that is in his historical recorded context. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. And the thing, we have not answered your question, sir. I admit that. We don't have time to answer them all. The thing that Jesus, look in the Sermon on the Mount real quickly. Let me interrupt this. I read the Sermon on the Mount again just the other day because I wanted to.
Where is that?
Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Thank you. In fact, one of the questions that was brought up when we introduced this topic a month ago, one of the bad news texts that was cited for us is where few there be that find it. Where's that? Matthew 7. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, the way is broad that leads to destruction, many there who enter by it. For the gate is small, and the way is narrow that leads to life, and few are those who find it. That sounds like a bad news verse. It sounds like it's saying most people are going to hell, and very few people, at least few, if not very few people, are going to heaven. That's how we evangelicals read that. I take extreme issue with how evangelicals read it, but let's back up and hopefully we'll get back to that. Well, let me go ahead and begin addressing that. What is the Sermon on the Mount about? And listen to this. We must read